Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Allison Fowler, and I would like to welcome you to Transvoyant's Risk in Motion webinar. We promised this morning, or whatever time of day it is for you that you're watching us, to give you a thought-provoking discussion founded in real case studies from the gentleman I have joining us today, and really been there, done that advice. So our topic is risk in motion, and the esteemed panelists I have joining me are going to be sharing their journey of building this capability within their organizations. I will let each of them do a quick introduction, and then we will get started into the questions. Dave, you want to kick us off?
Sure thing, Allison. Thank you. Dave Camiotti, I'm the Director of Global Logistics for Merck, and I've had one of my key responsibility over the last several years has been leading our digital transformation. I report up into our supply chain organization supporting the human health vertical at Merck, and we are a longtime partner of Transvoyant, so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Carlos?
Hello, everyone. Happy to be with you today. I am Carlos Morales. I am part of the Global Logistics Organization at Eli Lilly. I lead the Global Cold Chain Transportation Center of Excellence, which basically has two process teams. One's dedicated to obviously driving the global transportation strategy, but also another one that is focus on the technical agenda of cold chain. And that's where we have some interesting initiatives for which we decided to partner with Transvoyant with their services for proactive monitoring and risk management. So I'm glad to be here today with all of you.
Thanks, Carlos. Alex.
Hi, my name is Alexander Klaas. I'm the Digital Innovation Lead at Miebach Consulting in North America. So my things are all about analytics, modeling AI, and as part of that, at my work at Miebach, I consult clients in different industries at different levels on how to best approach and optimize supply chains using digital technologies and AI.
Great. Thank you to all three of you guys for joining us here today. And just wanted to give us a little kind of kickoff of the topic and really the journey that we've all been on from a patient care perspective and how we're transforming the way life science and pharmaceutical supply chains are working and delivering to patients. Really as the journey of predictive AI to generative AI, and now as we're looking on this forefront of autonomous agents and agentic AI. And for this webinar, the guys are going to go through, why for them, cold chain logistics is just the starting point for what we're now, pivoting into this smarter orchestration through risk in motion. We'll talk a little bit about, how AI is helping us moving from static visibility into real-time decision-making, and even on the autonomous side, how we've been, working on a partnership between the artificial intelligence and the human intelligence, and then really the agility that they have been able to bring to their organizations and their supply chain teams to be able to deliver new capabilities through a platform that, like Carlos mentioned, is not just monitoring, but really empowering them to take action and respond to different risks or situations that are occurring that are delaying patient care and getting it in front of that before the delays or the disruptions happen. So that's a little intro into the topic and just that journey we've been on. And without further ado, I will jump right into the questions and get these guys sharing their knowledge. So visibility tools have become table stakes, as we've seen, and even from a lot of customers that I speak with, and different people around the industry. that, kind of your basic visibility, whereas it is not enough and not delivering enough value. So can each of you talk a little bit about how your organizations are moving that to acting in real time instead of just being able to say what's happened, kind of that descriptive to, action? Dave, you want to take that one first?
Yeah, sure, Allison. And you're right, it is table stakes now. And I think for Merck, we started our journey in 2019, and it was really about visibility that enables us to control the supply chain, ensure we're being compliant at the best cost. It wasn't about just dots on the map, it was understanding in near real time the condition of our products that allowed us to intelligently act on the condition and maybe even, drive things that allowed us to intervene to ensure our product would be safe when it gets received by the customers. So again, our journey, real quick, you asked me to share a little bit about what that looked like in 2019. We started with a vision to build this agnostic digital logistics platform that enabled us to control the supply chain and allow us to be compliant with these intelligent insights. And it starts with data. Data is a big theme here, but it really started with us being able to integrate our enterprise data from SAP, TMS, ecosystem partner data from 3PLs, our IoT and tech monitor data, as well as external data into a single cloud environment that allowed us to get the data to start to make intelligent insights. From there, it wasn't just about the fact that now we're building up insights and have the ability to then make alerts and drive actions. We needed to integrate a control tower, a virtual control tower with Transvoyant that allowed us to act on those, triage those alerts, and work in again, near real time to intervene to protect our product. The journey continued for us because now that we have what we called our digital engine, this data working for us, we're able to provide predicted time of arrival reports to our business partners. And we were also able to build in new ways of working at the shop floor that reduced work when they have to scan devices and link them to the shipments, allowed for great efficiency at the shop floor. All of this kind of leads to where we're going in the future with this orchestration. All this data, the harmonization of this data sits in our digital logistics hub, our data hub, or it's another way of saying a digital twin, right? That continues to enable us to have greater insights and use cases, some use cases here that I'll be able to share with you guys.
Great. Thank you so much, Dave. Carlos, do you want to speak to kind of what prompted this journey with you and your current success criteria that you're working with?
Yes, of course. In our case, there were two main drivers. So one, of course, is the overall growth of our supply chain. As we have seen our significant growth in delivering medicines to our patients, we have seen increases in volume, significant increases in volume, transportation nodes, partnerships, and overall manufacturing and distribution footprint expansion. So for that reason, we strongly believe that it is necessary to manage that logistics complexity by enabling near real-time visibility of those flows in order to make sure that we have a proactive approach when leading with that complexity, right? Which may have multiple variations. So our main goal here is to make sure that we have an agile supply chain that deliver our medicines as fast as possible to our patients. So that's one of the drivers. But the second driver is basically in our journey to implementing efficient processes. There is one specific project that our company started, almost a couple of years ago that is called the temperature control aircraft process. So that process basically relies on process control because for us to be more efficient, right, in transportation, we are reducing the amount of packaging, the shipping packaging that we use during our transportation. So it is paramount that the process controls are maintained, and by using technology, near real-time visibility, proactive response to any trend that goes to the wrong direction will be key for us to keep expanding this initiative that we have. So those are the main kind of drivers among other benefits, right? But
Hmm.
those are the main drivers that made us, take the decision and partner with Transvoyant for this process.
Great. Thank you. We're going to go a little deeper into some of what you guys are talking about here in a minute, especially on the value. I know you've seen a large, it's a sustainability value and, emissions and sustainability savings as well. So that's been a big part of your initiative, I know, Carlos. Before we jump directly into the specific examples that you guys have done with Risk in Motion, I did want to ask this question. The artificial intelligence, human intelligence, both, maybe I'll give this one to Alex for a comment first, is how do you balance and how do you see your customers balancing the human oversight combined with that, AI-driven decision, especially when you're dealing with cold chain compliance and critical drug shortages, right? How are you seeing your customers combine that, or are we there yet? Or, where do you think we're going with that?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. So the vision of the autonomous supply chain and AI agent-driven decision making, I think it's upcoming right now. And Dave also mentioned this. We're still in a phase of where we, just 10 years ago, we were still just doing mostly spreadsheets and emails and stuff like that, right? And very quickly, we're now at the stage of we have good visibility. We have done, and I've seen this across the industry, across supply chain, but especially in cold chain. The data quality is improving massively. Companies are investing, and now it's time to harvest all of that work that went into the data. However, what it means is the AI right now, it can still only be as good as the information that's being fed. So that's why the current approaches are still work in a way that AI is an amazing decision support. It filters out all of the minor or irrelevant topics that will not move the needle, and it will guide the human decider towards, okay, what should I really do? Where are the issues? Where's the value? And what are maybe some of the options I have? Yeah, do I change a routing, or do I need to put more staffing into a certain area? Whatever it is, but ultimately the human will still make that decision based on that and all that prepared information.
Yeah, great. So right now it's AI, providing the decision support is kind of what I'm hearing, and then there is the human that's still taking the action, at least in a lot of use cases today.
Yes.
Dave, do you want to comment on what we've built from that kind of AI plus HI solution and how you're seeing that evolve?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I agree with Alec. It really is about empowering the business with better intelligence. So I think that is key here. And at Merck, we have layered in these predictive insights as part of the embedded process, right? So we have predictive ETA reports that are being sent out that allows for improved receiving process, reduction in detention demurrage. We have lane risk assessments that look at our lead times, look at temperature performance on lanes that improve supplier performance engagements, lane route discussions. We're looking at temperature monitoring and excursions in near real time, and we are generating alerts. And this is really where we need to layer in the HI component, right? That human intelligence of being able to continue to triage many of these alerts, have a little bit of understanding of what's happening across the supply chain to allow them to continue to work to escalate issues when issues do need to be escalated, partnering with our 3PLs and our consignees to get timely resolution. So it really is about going from that digital virtual world to the execution, operation, physical world, and having the human component that drives that to completion and value.
Great. Yeah, we've seen some great success with that, AI plus HI, giving the analytics and then the human taking that final step, whether that be calling the carrier directly, or just taking action with inside the organization to prevent a temperature excursion or a shipment at risk. And that kind of pivots directly into my next question around use cases. So this is the been there, done that piece, right? So I might just let Dave, you talk a minute while you have the floor of, what are some of those real examples that you've been able to have risk in motion in action, and then especially what is the value to your organization?
That sounds good. And, I'm thinking through some of what Carlos said at the beginning around process control. And our starting point really was about understanding the fact that we never want to lose a dose of our medicine. It's high value, it's supply critical, and in many instances, it's medically significant to the patient. So how do we build that control in? And I think for us, the use cases started around being able to intervene in distress shipments. We had significant discards from temperature excursions, and we wanted to be able to act to intervene in the margins of our success. We're normally right first time, 95% or greater on most of our lanes, but this is high value product. Again, medically significant. How do we take these insights, drive actions in real time to save those products? And we have been highly successful. We've saved millions of doses, right? This has been one of the, one of the biggest, greatest opportunities and things that we've shared across the organizations, that we've saved doses that get to patients by interacting and ensuring where we see disruption occur, non-process controls happening, that we can intervene. But because we have this digital engine built in here, we've been able to expand past that, right? So, tons of use cases. Suez Canal blockage, we were able to visualize within minutes what shipments were going through the canal, what passed the canal, what was on its way to the canal. We gave that to supply chain for them to start making decisions, them to start air freighting expedite shipments where needed. And also, Baltimore Harbor, we were looking at when that happened, what was moving southbound from the East Coast to Latin America, what was going to be impacted, what wasn't going to be impacted, to help us make better decisions. ILA port strike, when those conversations were happening, we were able to look at what was inbound, what was scheduled to come inbound to the East Coast, and start to make decisions on how we would plan supply chain better. And as we continue to move forward with all this information and this sensing of risk, we're seeing, most recently, the Israel-Iran conflict. We were able to locate our product that was in Doha in real time, be able to determine whether or not it was being stored in the right condition, share that with quality, and we were also able to locate product that was in Tehran, right? We were able to see the product, and we were able to orchestrate a return using TV cares and working with our 3PLs to get that product returned and then demonstrate the quality, no time out of refrigeration. So our tour wasn't impacted. That product was received in immediately and can be redistributed for patients that need it. So, I have tons of use cases on the temperature monitoring side where we've been able to return active containers at the origin port because they were failing. Actually work with steam vessel operators when the container wasn't operating the way it should be. So I could go on, but these are the big use cases. This is the value that we get, and we've been highly successful with it. And this also opens up the reporting side of what we have. You mentioned the fact that we have deep reporting. We do our CO2 reporting out of there. We do our air to ocean KPI reporting, which goes to our company scorecard. We do the basic starts of our network modeling. We're seeing all these flows, and now we're able to start to have deeper conversations. So I'll stop there. I could go on and on, but I'll stop there.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I mean, when you have a long-term partnership, the use cases just keep and the value keeps compounding, which is great. Having you guys being a partner for 8-9 years now, and I mean, yeah, I think you're speaking to obviously a ton of value delivered in doses saved and just efficiencies and across the supply chain. And really, I like some of your use cases of it started with the cold chain, really your vision, a while ago around agnostic intervention for the cold chain, agnostic platform for cold chain interventions, but then it's pivoted to all of these other, disruptions that you've had in your supply chain, and we've been able to respond and take action and continue to save doses. So appreciate that. Carlos, do you want to speak to just how this has taken shape within Lilly and how you guys are thinking about, the proactive cold chain interventions and then beyond at Lilly?
Sure. So, I mean, we are starting the journey, right? But we have two main expectations. So one is that a risk in motion capability help us with agility, right? That we foresee what are the risks that we may encounter and help us, manage those risks and get medicines to our patients quickly. The other one is resiliency. Resiliency is key. I, I am pretty sure that many companies spend a lot of effort when there are major disruptions, major supply chain disruptions, to figure out, what are the things that are in transit and what to do with those, in those instances, right? So we have lived those, I mean, from recent examples, and we believe that implementing these capabilities is going to help us, have a quicker and more proactive response and have kind of a better view of, what is the impact, what are the risks, and how to mitigate them so that we can continue with our supply chain processes. So those are our expectations, and I am excited that we are starting with this, developing this process.
Great, thank you. And Alex, I wanted to call on you on, how you're seeing, different solutions in the market and with your customers addressing risk, how they're addressing risk in motion, or, kind of what you see just across the market and across your different customers in this space.
Yeah. So yeah, we see a huge trend in working towards unified databases. I mean, the example David just gave on you were able to immediately see which shipments were in transit towards the Suez Canal when it was blocked. I mean, just like some years ago, this would have been like a week-long exercise to try to figure all that out. Like, I mean, you lose the time, but also think about all the work that has to go into getting that information in the first place. So that's an amazing example where risk in motion really helps, and it builds on a kind of unified data world. So that's one thing we see, that just getting all of the information together to even start talking about a global risk assessment. So we are seeing also the different metrics just being developed right now. I mean, how to really quantify risk it's still pretty tricky question, I would say, right? And also, I think Carlos, you just touched on it. What's the threshold between protecting against a black swan event versus maybe things will happen every few years, and how to really find that sweet spot. So that's where I'm a lot of conversations with clients on, okay, what's maybe a good model? How do you quantify the cost of the event versus the protections against it? That's still ongoing work there.
Yeah, helping build that business case on the value so that you can build the data, get to the model where you're able to take that action. Yeah. Okay. I will go to our last question here, and then we will open it up for Q&A. So if anyone on the line wants to add a question in the chat, please feel free to do that. I'll ask you, Alex, first. Where are we going, right? This future self-driving agentic supply chain, where we're heading. Like, what do you think is the next what does that look like for you, for your customers in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah. So a huge part of it is just the proactiveness of each decision making and the value in being, being the first, being the fastest, being better than your competitors in the supply chain. What I mean by that is, yeah, if we already see, could be a weather event, could be an upcoming strike that you hear about a few days before, if your supply chain will already take this into account. And just we closed that last link we talked about with human interaction, and already overnight almost the decisions will be taken to account for events, or also for, I mean, we talk about risk, but this really applies to the overall theme of an agile supply chain, right? If you have new promotions launching, if you have just a trend that changes your demand, or a sudden demand that's infused. All of this, there's so many decisions to optimize, and this will only become more in the next years, where we really see, okay, if we have the right targets, if we have the right data programmed into your IT systems, this is really what a lot of customers are working towards.
Great. Carlos or Dave, how do you see this playing out, do you think, with inside your organizations?
I see a lot of potential. I mean, today we are looking for multiple ways where we can incorporate some of that technology in our supply chain. So we are not establishing any limits. We would like to explore this capability to help us automate, to help us, provide more better insights on time and help us be more efficient. So from that perspective, I mean, it's very promising, and I think that our organization is looking forward to strengthen the way we do logistics today with the use of technology.
Allison, likewise, I mean, the comments from both Alex around how do you quantify risk and how do you allow for machine learning to help maybe triage that in a way that's more actionable around supply impact. And likewise with Carlos's comments, the idea for automation, I think, is the vision. It really is kind of how do we get automated and allow for agentic AI to continue to help sense and maybe even at some point independently start making decisions. Definitely not there yet, but absolutely see that this is the right way to start moving forward and exploring autonomous response groups. Like when data is coming back and those predictive alerts are being triggered, how do we pre-approve actions as a starting point today to help us start learning now about what the machine can and can't do, because high variability in data, which we have a lot of in logistics, is kind of a killer when it comes to prediction. So anyway, I mean, but great comments by both Alex and Carlos. It resonates well with me.
Yeah, and we spend a lot of time on that, the data quality, because you can't make these decisions without the data quality. So I have a couple of questions coming in. I will just shoot them out to you guys and let you kind of take it up from there. So the first one is, I would like to know what are the main challenges and roadblocks organizations are facing to implement this digital transformation. How are organizations overcoming those? So if you guys could speak to your challenges, recommendations for that. Who wants to take that one?
I could start. So what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Well, one key challenge I see is that, especially in larger organizations, the way that data is set up varies regionally. So that's one key challenge which you have to also tackle with the right organizational setup, with a good change management, with making sure everyone is working towards the same goal and everyone sees the value. And it's the tedious work of going through those discussions and unifying things, or setting up unified data lakes. So that's one key thing for sure. But yeah, I think it's from a top level, it's getting more and more the attention you need for that.
So from
Any
our
others?
side,
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, Alison.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So from our side, some of the challenges that we have is how we integrate systems, how we can harmonize the data that we need to enable the technology, and also to be very transparent with you. Some of this transformation is being done on the fly, meaning while we still have the mission to deliver medicines to our patients. And as a result, there are many priorities that need to be sorted out in order to enable this transformation. So those are the main challenges that we have so far. But we are so interested in improving the way we do logistics that we definitely believe that improving technology and this type of opportunities is the way that where we will become more efficient.
Yeah, we're building and flying the plane at the same time, right? You still gotta deliver, but we're trying to improve that as you're delivering. Yeah.
Yep.
I know we're at time here. I would just, put the explanation point on the data, understand your data stack, your organizational silos, understand where you'll have gaps in data, where you may need to derive data, because that will inform just how many insights you can get and how accurate those insights are going to be. And Carlos, to your point, really, I think agility is key. Learn quick, fail fast, use that phrase, be agile and choose a partner that allows you to do that.
Great. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. This was a great discussion, good learnings from all of you. If anyone out there would like to continue the conversation, there's a QR code there. Feel free just to reach out directly or via our website. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you, Carlos, Dave, Alex. Love to continue the conversation and maybe do another one of these, part 2. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.